Got Max here in the studio. He's taking a nap. You may hear him coming in with the snores occasionally. The
How do you chase your normal?
For me, what's normal 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, however long, it's normal like for that time. But I don't know. It changes based on like projects or goals or um, levels of activity, physical and mental, interactions. Like where are you at that time? Yeah, like I guess a different way to say it would also be to like try and maintain interior peace.
Currently, what is your normal right now?
I'm in an active phase. In an active phase with projects that I'm working on and with other goals that I am pursuing and idea creation. So right now is a real active phase. There are other times where it's been like more reflective and like methodical because that helped. Like one feeds the other, you know. Yeah.
What is a hard realization that you had to come to? Maybe you thought the world was this way, the way the world works was this way. Turns out it was more maybe complex or more simple.
Like realizing that everyone has their thing. Writing is my thing. Like that was a really big thing for me to actually finally sit down with a journal and like write strictly for my own sense and not like today this happened, but to just like constantly be trying to create and play with different ideas and different modes of uh, relaying information and like messing around with form and all that. That was a really big realization for me to realize like, oh, this isn't something that I just do for someone else. This is something that I do for me.
I know you've done your fair share of traveling. How important is it for you that you experience different cultures?
I love it, to be honest. Yeah, like it's a big thing to me. Um, and yeah, you get like exposure to perspective. Like you meet someone and the values in their life are different from the values in yours, um, and their goals are oriented according to that value system. And then of course you have like the scenery that you're not going to see somewhere else. You have the sights, the sounds, the I guess I would go with scenery. The food, the music, because all of that is like um, part of like it's a product of that soil in a sense. Then there's this passage in Tao Te Ching that I've read where it's like uh, something to the effect of like the sage can know the world without ever stepping out of his door.
Can?
Yeah, right. So it's like okay, but that's again getting back to the universality of everything because like potentially in a figurative way, right? Like you relate to everyone that you meet in some way, shape, or form, at very least one.
Right.
So, as cool and as much as I enjoy traveling, um, it's like in a sense because you get to, for me, um, even though it is stepping out of my door, so to say, it's like trying to interact with that commonality that is shared with people all over, right? Like it's just yeah, that's like the big thing is like if you're willing to, then you can find something in common with like damn near everyone, and that includes people like on the ups and people in the pits.
What is a bad habit that you're trying to work on right now?
Can I like say an area I want to improve? Would that fall into the category of a bad habit, a deficiency of a sort? Because I would say like consistency or um, and it goes in line with discipline, right? Because at least to me, of course, um, if there's some amount of like consistency or discipline, then again, you're able to have a better control over the situation in which you place yourself into. So, um, just yeah, that would be the big one. Those would be the big two: consistency and discipline. They go hand in hand, and being able to like hold myself more accountable. That would probably be the the habit I would like most to continue working to improve.
And in what ways are you working towards that?
Small habits, just doing stuff small every day, or at least as best I can, because and that's like the thing, that balancing act again of the not like being upset or disappointed or whatever with yourself if one day you don't, because then you're putting that like negativity inside of you, and um, so it's just like doing the small habits as consistently, as mindfully as I can. Like, for instance, with learning Spanish, doing the little things every day to try and build that strength, that skill, because that gets into the whole area again of consistency, accountability, and discipline. Because if I'm not consistent in what I'm doing, I'm not going to see the growth that I want to see. If I don't hold myself accountable to be consistent, then I'm not going to see the growth that I want to see. If if I'm not disciplined to put the like further steps into it, then I'm not going to see the growth that I want to see. So that's why those are the habits that I would like most to improve. Um, and ways to do it, like I said, it's just like the small things. Even if it's just like for me with writing, um, when I'm really great with it, I'll do it every single day, at least one page. When I'm kind of like in a lull period, man, I may go like a week, 2 weeks, sometimes longer without. And when that happens, then I have to remind myself to like come back to it, because you're always gonna do what you want to do. The choices you make are ones that you've positioned yourself to make. So, just like and like providing myself mental cues, like so that if I see my notebook, and don't worry, I'm not going to hit the table. If I see my notebook out on the table, it's like now it becomes a choice to look at it and look past it,
Mm.
and so stuff like that, just all the little things, the little habits, leaving cues out for yourself, because the other thing is out of sight, out of mind. You never see it. It's like you don't think about it. So yeah, that's how I try and help myself with the small things, like putting it in accessible places to where um, if you choose not to do it, you're conscious of the fact that it's a choice because you've walked by it.
What is something that you would like to normalize?
Honestly, something like this, where it's just like a check in, either with yourself or with someone else, because it's important. Like I feel as though in the times in society in which we live, we're very, very willing to um, ask exhaustive amounts of questions about everything and anything outside of ourselves. And aside from that, because we are not really used to asking ourselves as many questions, or at least we don't put the same amount of time into asking ourselves questions, it makes it so that if we're not careful, our actions can become hollow. And if we don't then engage with ourselves, how do we ever expect to truly engage with another person?
Favorite toppings on a pizza for you?
Hmm. Um,
One pizza for you to eat
just one
the
pizza.
rest of your life. What toppings need to be on that pizza?
Maybe mushroom onion sausage.
No pepperoni.
I could take it or leave it. I mean, depending on the day, sausage and pepperoni is the toss up for me. Yeah, I know.
Who is Greg Combes?
I am a person who uh, genuinely loves myself and others. I am someone who um, greatly enjoys interacting with people. And again, because it's an opportunity for me and another person to, in a sense, like share a moment. I am a I like the term thoughtful, and I do mean full of thought. I love life, serious. Every single day, and that's like having been in lows too. Like every day is not uh, a picnic or a Saturday or whatever term you want to use. But with that, I've also seen that um, doesn't always rain. It's not always a rainy day. Um, the world, you know, it's not even if it feels like things are falling apart. Like okay, it's that's a part of it, and there's varying levels of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's suffering because it is a very individualistic thing to go through suffering. Um, and yet it to remind yourself that like you're still blessed with each day. Um, it's yeah, like do the best with every single day. Yeah, I'm someone who loves life thoroughly.
Any final thoughts you want to give to people out there? Words of advice? Any shout outs? Anything that you're working on that you want to plug?
Want to shout out to all the folks that are chasing normal, real great people. You know, dap them up. Make sure appreciate you, Pat. Thank you for having me. Shout out to I don't know, all the family, man, all the friends. And, check out shout out to Lost World Kings, which is a hip hop group. They just put out an EP like a month or so ago. It's pretty legit, It's Lost World Kings, and it is COVID Corruptions. So it's a pretty cool album. Check it out. Um, plug for my own work. Yeah, buddy. Sea House Publications. Uh,
See?
See, Combes, got to represent. Sea House Publications, getting ready with the flagship first production, which is The Dust of Gethsemane. It is about the life of Judas from the Bible, person responsible for turning in Jesus and ultimately resulting in Jesus' execution. And so Judas's life from that point to his own passing. So plug that work, and other projects to work on. Um, got a few. Gonna have some visual productions coming up, but the main one for right now is Dust of Gethsemane from Sea House Publications, which will be released, published April 2022. Consciousness growth.